Big spoilers for Elbaf ahead. However, I wonder if Shanks has a devil fruit. Not him exactly, but his sword named Griffin, because it follows a very similar naming scheme to his brother. What's interesting about him and his brother is that they are both in Elbaf at the times in which their swords are unveiled in big ways. Because Shanks defeats Eustace Captain Kidd off the shores of Elbaf, right? And when he does so, at least in the anime, a big aura shaped like the mythical creature called a griffin appears before he attacks. However, the name mythical is used very loosely here because of some things we'll talk about later. However, when we actually get into Elbaf proper, we meet Shanks' older twin brother, Figurlin Shamrock, and he too unveils his sword, but his sword, named Cerberus, actually means more than just a name, as it's able to manifest or project the actual dog of Greek myth named Cerberus, which is a three-headed red dog in One Piece. What is so interesting about the Cerberus in the context of One Piece is that, one, it's an Usopp lie, and its lore, presumably in the world of One Piece, was set up by Usopp to us, the readers and viewers, because in Usopp's childhood, he called a dog a Cerberus. Therefore, the Cerberus has entered the compendium of lies told by Usopp. But then, supposedly, we thought this lie came true in Thriller Bark, in which we see a zombie named Cerberus that is a weird amalgamate of a dog's head, another dog's head, and a fox's head. However, when running away from this weird zombie Cerberus, Usopp then tells us that the Cerberus is the guardian dog of hell. So that's interesting because now Usopp has lied about a Cerberus and has given the context about what the Cerberus is within the One Piece world. And this lie is then made true in Elbaf when Figurlin Shamrock unveils that his sword can become, or at least project, the Cerberus. Now, with all that being said, when you come to Shanks, the reason why I think if his sword is a devil fruit user, the reason why it may not be a mythical devil fruit like Figurlin Shamrock's might be, is because of this very reason. You see, in Whole Cake Island, when Big Mom is talking to the Vinsmoke family, she brings out her big book of animals that is a concoction made by her son Mondor using the book fruit. And as she's flipping through, she mentions that she has a griffin from the South Blue. So this is establishing that griffins in the One Piece world are real animals, akin to other real world mythical animals such as manticores and sphinxes, and also unicorns. But with that being said, I do wonder if Shanks' sword has just eaten the normal griffin fruit. Perhaps this fruit is called the burr fruit model griffin or the cat fruit model griffin. Not sure because it's a hybrid animal, usually of a eagle and a lion. So we'll have to see what the taxonomy of the fruit is if Shanks' sword has it, but I find it very curious that his sword has the same naming scheme as his brother's sword, which means that they both might be devil fruit users in the future, which would be very interesting, just based off the fact that item zoans are getting more recognition as the story goes on, because quite recently it was made canon that Ragnir, the hammer held now by Loki, has eaten the squirrel fruit mythical type model Ratatoskr, which was predicted by me 3 years ago. But with that being said, if you are enjoying the video so far, click the like button, and if you want to see more from me, click the subscribe button followed by that bell so you never miss a video. In addition to, if you could, hit the hype button because it really does help. And with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede Waxy.